The funeral was grand, as expected for a man like Victor Calloway, a successful businessman, charming and well-respected, a devoted husband as everyone believed. But Isabelle Calloway knew the truth. Her husband had betrayed her. For years, he had taken other women to his bed, thinking she was blind to his infidelities. But karma had a funny way of working, because now, Victor was dead. A tragic accident, a slippery road, a car crash. And Isabelle, she was the perfect grieving widow, dressed in black, a veil covering her unreadable expression. She accepted condolences with quiet nods. But her mind was elsewhere. Because her revenge wasn't over. Not yet. From across the graveyard he stood watching. Elias Calloway, Victor's younger brother. Tall, brooding, dangerous in his own way. He had never trusted Isabelle, always looking at her like she was something untouchable, dangerous. But now she was free. And the way Elias's gaze lingered on her, she knew he wanted her. Perfect. A week later, Isabelle made her move. She invited Elias to the estate, under the pretense of settling Victor's affairs. "I don't trust you, Isabelle," Elias muttered as he sat across from her, his fingers tightening around a glass of whiskey. She smiled. Good. A flicker of something dark passed through his gaze. Desire, resentment, temptation, and she fed it. A brushed touch as she poured more whiskey, a lingering glance over the rim of her glass. The way her black silk robe slid slightly off her shoulder when she crossed her legs. She saw his jaw clench, his hands tighten. He wanted to resist, but he wouldn't. That night the storm raged outside, and so did they. Elias finally snapped, grabbing her wrist as she tried to walk past him. "This is wrong." Then let go. But he didn't. Instead, he pushed her against the wall, his body pressing into hers, his breath hot against her skin. "You wanted this." She smiled, trailing her fingers down his chest. "I always get what I want." Then his mouth crushed against hers, a kiss filled with anger, desire, and something neither of them wanted to name. Hands tearing fabric. Breathless moans against the thunder. The heat of his body claiming her, over and over again. And Isabelle, she let him devour her. Because while Elias thought he was taking control, she was the one pulling the strings. By morning, Elias was still in her bed, but Isabelle was already up sipping coffee. By the window watching the rain, he stirred, groaning. "What happens now?" She turned, her expression unreadable. Then she leaned down, brushing her lips against his ear. "You tell me, Elias. After all, you just slept with your brother's widow." His eyes darkened with realization, with guilt, with desire for more. And Isabelle smirked. Victor may have betrayed her, but now, his brother belonged to her, and she would never let him go.